You want me to prove to you that racism doesn't exist, that it has never existed, and you're not judged based on your color?
I mean, you could try to prove it, but that's a hard thing to prove.
And your wife get angry at you sometimes, right?
Yeah, we disagree.
And
yeah.
when she get angry at you, she treat you differently, and she see you differently, right? The point is, and so when she's not angry, she treats you fairly, she's friendly and everything, right?
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with your color. Is that true or not?
No, it has nothing to do with my color.
That's the same thing with what's going on between blacks and whites.
But that's not the same thing, no.
Let me finish. No, I haven't finished yet.
All right.
There are some white people that do not want to be around some black folks because they see that black people are angry. They don't trust them now. And some white people are angry at black people for the way that they have been treated and the way blacks act. But then a person like me, who they see that has no anger, or other black people that don't have anger, those white people would have no problem with that person at all. And my point is, if it were based on my color only, or if it were based on my color, they would want to have anything to do with any blacks.
Doesn't he look like what an old white guy would look like if the old white guy wanted to turn himself into an old black guy? Doesn't he look like that? He does to me. It's strange. You know, it's actually a chore having to listen to this guy speak. I wonder if he has any detectable sense. I don't want to call him dumb, but the things he says, that's what a dumb person would say. Not much thought goes into it. Well, I can't say that. Not much thought comes out when he speaks. I can say that. I had to cut down this mindlessness to get something semi-coherent. And this guy has a syndicated radio show. Is it because of his impeccable speech? Is it his charisma? Or is it for an unusually high command of the English language that gets him a syndicated radio show? Nope. Just being two things for his following. Look like somebody they don't like while saying the things they want to hear. A black man who regurgitates white supremacy talking points. That's all it takes. So Jesse Lee Peterson says that racism doesn't exist and has never existed. He says this with a straight face, even after he says this.
And then to Dave, Jesse, do you think that racism is a significant problem in our country today?
Not at all. Racism has never been a problem in this country at all. And you're hearing this from someone who grew up in Alabama. I was born and raised in Alabama. I was raised on a plantation there under the Jim Crow laws.
The fact that he grew up on a plantation in Alabama where slaves were held as property based on their race at a time during the Jim Crow laws where people were separated by their race, he still says racism never existed. What do you do with that? I didn't think it was possible to be this stupid. I mean, you have to really try to pull this leap of logic off. He knows what the plantations were used for. He knows who was forced to work on those plantations and why those people who look like him were chosen. He knows why people were segregated and what they were segregated by. He knows segregation, race-based chattel slavery, the practice of redlining, black codes, etc. wasn't based on how angry somebody was. He knows all of this. So why is he denying it? Like I've said time and time again, as a consequence of believing in such a depraved system, like the system of white supremacy, when you hold on to its tenets, you ultimately lose your ability to critically think. It's gone. So when we hear people like Jesse Lee Peterson speak, and we think to ourselves, what the fuck? We now know why. So he talks to the caller and he wants the caller to believe, like he does, that white people being mad at black people has nothing to do with race and has everything to do with how white people are sick of how black people act. He goes on to say that it's the anger that black people have that makes black people unbearable to white people. Not for him, though. He thinks because he doesn't have anger, white people like him. Of course, it wouldn't have anything to do with him being a token that they can hide behind while he says things that they want to hear. Things like this.
You're a pastor, right?
Yes.
And you're a radio host?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you believe white people should have more children?
We definitely need white babies. And I tremble at the idea that white babies, that the white group is going down in numbers, because if you lose white folks, America, it's over for America. because if you notice, white people tend to be more innovative. They're more creative. They have ideas about things. All these other races don't do nothing but destroy.
So that's why they like you, Jesse. You're a black man who sings the praises of white people for being white and say all the other races ever do is destroy. So my question to Jesse would be, as a black man, what have you destroyed? I mean, other than my brain cells after having listened to you. And why can't you as a black man stop destroying shit? Of course, he will make up some excuse as to why he's somehow, some way different than every other black person or every other race who does nothing but destroy that he describes. See, he's lost his ability to critically think. I mean, this guy can't be a serious person. He has to be trolling. He has to be playing a character. However, it is serious. This man spews white supremacist talking points on a nationally syndicated radio show. He gets these ideas platformed on shows like Dr. Phil. He has a lot to say, specifically about how bad black people are, and people are listening.
Really?
You know, I said once on my radio show that because most blacks are so lazy now, because of the government taking care of them, and then a lot of them are born with single mothers only in the homes, and the mothers don't make them work. And I said, I'm going to go to Alabama, buy some land, create a plantation, and I'm going to take the blacks back down there to show them how to work and be independent and earn their way.
And his big idea to help black people out is to put them back into slavery.